Alrighty folks, we got ourselves here a Traeger Pro 780, not even for sale yet or even found on Traeger's website yet, but we managed to get our hands on one and we're gonna do an unboxing for you today with assembly and hopefully walk you through the process.
Got our helper here.
Got our helper.
Mr. Diesel.
Nice. It does say it is a two-man job because you have to flip the barrel. And I will tell you, this is a pretty heavy barrel. So we do recommend having a partner in crime to do this with. One thing you'll notice about Traeger is they do not skimp on the detail with the inside of their box. This, they say, is a 4-beer assembly. There is your beer holders, which is pretty fantastic. Right down to the inside of the box, they have stuff for you to play with, because you know how if you have any kids like I do, kids like to play in boxes. Well, they built an actual house inside a box for your kids to play with, which is pretty fantastic. So as required, you do have to have a beer to assemble this Traeger. It is just part of the instructions. It's actually in the manual itself.
We'll go with Breckenridge since we're here in Colorado. All right, let's do this.
Very cool. Let's take this thing out. It says start here. Gotta love that about Traeger, making it easy. A little personal note from Traeger. That's pretty cool.
Look at that. Fancy.
Yep.
Instructions. Little toolkit, which I don't really need, but
they actually include
pretty fancy.
All the tools that you need for assembly.
It's a nice orange color. Looks like we got ourselves one probe, which this only has the one probe hookup. Got that there.
And a bumper sticker of some kind. And it looks like...
Here, side pieces. Of course with the Traeger logo.
Oh,
pretty sweet.
Holder down next to Diesel there. He's keeping guard of it for us.
Make use of that.
And now taking out, you'll notice the hopper is attached, which is a fantastic thing because that can be a real pain to wire through. Looks like Traeger really did a good job of engineering just how they package this to make it pretty straightforward and easy for you.
Packed up nice. All right. Go ahead and pull that out. Take a look at that.
Looks like you got an on-off switch on the back on this model. Again, this is the Pro Series 780. We also bought a Pro Series 575 if you don't need one quite so big. What I think I like immediately about this is it's not so long as the 34 series, but gives you more grilling space in the 34 series.
Well,
that's all our goodies.
All of our pieces. So we'll go ahead and open this up and get back to it. All right, so it looks like we got the grate for the hopper that is an absolute pain, so we won't use that. Got our legs, wheels inside here as well. Nice. Nice quality as you would expect from Traeger. Got the bucket, a couple bucket liners, pretty nice. Some filler cardboard. As you can see in here, this one does have the upper rack option, which comes with it, which is really nice. We'll want to be careful over here. We've got the temperature sensor for inside the grill.
From inside the hopper, it looks like you get your stack assembly. We will be assembling that here momentarily for you. And one of the new features we noticed on this new series is a removable plug. So you could put a longer plug on there or not worry about snagging your plug every time you move your Traeger.
Pretty nice rack too, nice upper rack. Looks like it's about 6-7 inches or so.
Yep.
Pretty sweet. We'll get the, it looks like here, the handle, we've got the front legs which have casters on them. So that's pretty nice for this size of a grill to be able to roll it around on 4 legs, or 4 wheels. And this model comes with one full rack, so pretty standard on most of the Traegers. And inside here, it's like pretty standard on how most of the Traegers are designed.
That's a little different.
That's a little different for
Stainless
sure.
steel lining in the belly.
That's definitely different with this, with that sitting in there.
that's a whole different heat dispersion.
That looks a lot nicer.
Yep. On your traditional Traeger, you know, you have that other piece in there that comes out, but this looks like they reinforced it with stainless steel. I'm guessing that'll give you a little bit better heat dispersion. Packet, you get a personalized note from the CEO of Traeger Grills, which is pretty cool. And then your instructions on both the 575 and the 780 series.
Which we'll be assembling both today. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward, I think.
I do like that they tell you this is a optional equipment 6-pack of beer, and it tells you about how long it should take you to assemble your Traeger grill.
We finished that 6-pack, so we better make sure we adhere to those guidelines.
Absolutely. So the first step they have here is to assemble the smaller handle for moving the Traeger around. They give you multiple parts to do so. 2 of the cardboard looking washers. One of those made out of like cardboard.
Mica washer, they
The
call it?
mica washer goes on the outside. Your standard washer goes on the inside.
All right, you want to hold
Super simple.
that one.
And we're just gonna, again, having 4 hands is tremendously helpful in this situation because you can do that. And then we will just tighten those on. And we'll do the same for the front handle. Next part of assembly is to place this Traeger on its head, which requires 2 people. I do not recommend doing this by yourself, this part, with the lid that's gonna wanna flap open and your hopper as well. You may damage your Traeger. Make sure you have a clean workspace. We put down a blanket just because we felt like that was a smarter move so we don't scratch the surface of our Traeger. All right, so we've got it on its back here. You will notice the leg areas are color coordinated. Very smart. The legs themselves are also color coordinated. The unit will not balance on its own, so I'm holding the unit here while my partner in crime there assembles the legs. And it is rather wobbly and heavy, as you can see. Leg slides right in.
Almost lines right up. Looks like it doesn't sit quite on the stop,
So I'll have to hold it. So here's our hardware. We're going to go ahead and assemble. You will notice the leg, gravity does feed the leg down farther than the holes. Again, this is definitely a 2-person portion of the job. Otherwise, you're gonna dump your Traeger over.
So we've got the long screw, we've got the washer on the outside. And if we can get it lined up and through. So we've got our flat washer, lock washer, and then obviously the nut here. Cut it. All right, so we are gonna use the drill with the chuck adjusted so we don't over tighten it. That's up to you if you want to do that or if you want to do it by hand. Also, this is a 1/2 inch on the wrench. I felt like using these tools versus the Traeger wrench. And of course, 50-50 backwards. Go ahead and tighten these bad boys up. Out at the very beginning that obviously the colors match up. One thing to note, you want to put it in so that the dots actually are on the same face. That guarantees that you'll have your screws on the inside. So just wanted to point that out because you could easily pop it in here and then realize, oh, whoops, I got it backwards. So make sure you line those up. All right, so we're going to go ahead and install the side plates now. Appear to be universal. They all use the same Phillips screw. Pop those in.
Next part of our assembly process is the smokestack. You'll notice there is a gasket you must put on the outside. Those holes, you just punch them out. They're pre-punched, but the little pieces were in there, so you may need to find that when you do it.
Pretty straightforward. Screw, washer on the outside, washer, nut on the inside.
You just screw it on, line it up with the threaded hole, give her a little smokestack is ready to go. Simple as that. All right, finally time to put our handle on. You do put the mica washer. You'll notice there's this groove that kind of gets in the way, but Traeger did put in a little bit of a groove for your screwdriver to go in.
This lip's pretty cool too, so you notice when you close the lid, just how it aligns and helps kind of contain some of that smoke, probably a little bit of grease from splattering here and running down the face, hopefully. So
we noticed about Traeger is they come with these stickers, and most companies you have to fight with Goo Gone or you have to scrape them, thus risking the finish of your grill. Nope, not Traeger. They just put a magnet on all of their stickers, so they come off right away. We'll leave it on for a final picture, but pretty cool little feature there. There we go, fully assembled Traeger 780 series, the new Pro 780. Assembly time, if we weren't doing a video, is probably under 30 minutes, to be completely honest with you. They make it really, really, really easy.
Very easy. Definitely want a partner to help hold it. It's a little cumbersome to move around, but that was a piece of cake. So we'll go get it fired up, get it seasoned, and we'll see how it does.
Now that we have our Traeger fully assembled, we are going to show you how to season the grill. It is imperative you season the grill before you ever use it. You start off by...
fill it with pellets, and we're going to go ahead and turn this on. Nice feature about this one too is it does have a clean out with a little magnet here, so you can flip it up and keep it open while you drain out your pellets. So after you hit the on button there, go ahead and turn on the unit. All right, you can see that home screen there. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and hit the menu button. We want to come down here to auger, so we're going to turn this little dial and select that. Oops, hit the back button. Go ahead and push in the wheel. And we want to prime the auger. That's going to be the first step in seasoning this. We're going to hit that. So we're at 3 minutes and about 30 seconds into the process, and they start falling here into the fire pot. If you notice, they look really wet. Looks like the grease and everything that's in the system, the pellets are kind of absorbing that. So as it says in the directions, once they start to fall into the pot, we'll go ahead and stop the prime process.
And right here it does say priming complete, so that is pretty accurate. The timer stopped right when the pellets started falling in. So we're gonna hit done on that. All right, so the next thing you're gonna wanna do is move your dial over. You're gonna see it says turn dial to select temp. You're gonna go ahead and move this over to 350 degrees.
Then you go ahead and, after you get your temperature, go ahead and press this in. Now it says push ignite to start. And I noticed over here, a little bit more on the right is where the ignition button seems to work, but as you can hear the fans running, the auger's going right now.
Add this in while it's igniting. You can hear it kicking on and off. That's the ignition process. I imagine, especially for the initial time, that's the fan kicking on to give it enough air to get ignited.
It's noticeably quieter than other Traeger models.
Alrighty folks, there you have it. You've got both the Pro 780 with the Pro 575 right next to it. You gain about 200 square inches and a tiny bit of height on the Pro 780. Outside of that, both are virtually identical in all of their specs.
Casters on the 780 as well, as you can see on the legs. Instead of just the standard legs, it does have the caster, so it's pretty nice for moving it around.
Here's your Pro 780. Some of the specifications on there. Again, 2 inches higher, 7 inches wider. And here are the tech specs on this guy here. Depth is exactly the same. So if you liked what you saw, please hit the like button at the bottom of your screen. Any feedback is welcome.